What's up, guys? Welcome back to a brand new video. Today we're going to be doing our first NFL prediction video of the season. Last year we started in about week 4, went until the end of the season. This year we're going to look to do the same thing, but this time start at week 1. Also this year I'm going to try to do a thing at the end of the season where I'm going to look at every single game I predicted, look who I predicted right, who I predicted wrong, and then go to the end of the season and see what their records would be if it was up to me. Make sure to like and subscribe, go into the description and submit your video ideas, and let's get right into it. Starting off with the Ravens and the Chiefs. I hate to be the guy that would just pick, obviously, the reigning Super Bowl winners, so I'm not sure if I'm going to do that this video. The Chiefs are obviously a great team, but I think the Ravens are as well. Am I going to be predicting a Super Bowl hangover from the Chiefs? The Ravens getting Derrick Henry. Honestly, I'm going to go the Ravens in this one. I'm going to say the Ravens end up winning this one 27-24. They have a strong defense. They're getting that running game back and better than ever with Derrick Henry instead of their usual injured backfield and J.K. Dobbins and whatnot. So getting Derrick Henry, continuing with Lamar Jackson. Hopefully that team's receiving is better than what it was last year. Obviously, you lost OBJ, but we expect Zay Flowers to improve. Yeah, overall, I'm going to go the Ravens. I think they have a slightly stronger defense, and offensively, I think they're going to kill the Chiefs on the ground. I know the Chiefs have good guys in that front line, like Chris Jones, like George Karlaftis, but give me the Ravens in this one to win 27-24. Next up, we have the Patriots and the Bengals. This is a pretty easy one. The Patriots are one of, if not the worst team in the NFL. I think the score I'm going to give is probably going to be the Patriots have an okay defense. It's not terrible. Um, but I think the Bengals might drop 30 on them. We're going to go 31 from the Bengals, and we're going to go 14, maybe 16 from the Patriots. Jacoby Brissett is starting right away, so no Drake May. But either way, I definitely expect a blowout from the Bengals. I mean, this should be a start to a comfortable season with Joe Burrow back healthy, with Jamar Chase, with T. Higgins. I'm excited for this team, and I think they're going to start off well against the Patriots, 31-16. Next game we have is going to be the Jaguars at the Dolphins, two Florida teams. Dolphins are home. I think they're going to start off strong. I'm going to give it to the Dolphins in this one. I think I'm going to go by a score of 28 to, I'm going to say 28 to 22. Dolphins take the win over them. Obviously, they're high-powered offense. The Tua to Tyreek should be good. I'm interested to see how that running back duo does this year. Last year, we know Raheem Mostert had, I think, his career year, even though he's into his 30s. And Devon Chain, he started off very well in the regular season. Then he ended up getting hurt, so wasn't able to finish that season. I think Chain should have a big season. I do expect a bit of a drop off from Mostert, but overall, the offense is just way too high powered, and they're home. I'm gonna go the Dolphins over the Jaguars, 28 to 22. Next up, we have the Texans and the Colts. I think the Colts are one of the more underrated teams in the NFL right now. I think they could be a sneaky wild card team, but for this game, I'm going to give it to the Texans. If I'm just going to be predicting the game straight up, I'm going to say the Texans win this one. I'm going to say 26-14, or maybe 26-17. I'm going to go 26-17. Yeah, we're probably going to see what 2 touchdowns from the Texans, 4 field goals, so that's definitely interesting to predict. And for the Colts, obviously 2 touchdowns and a field goal. I think the Texans should be coming out strong right out of the gate with this new offense. CJ Stroud, new weapon, Stephon Diggs, already has Tank Dell, already has Nico Collins. And on defense, got Daniil Hunter, who's one of the best edges last season. So I think the Texans should come off strong. And I think this is definitely a team that can contend for a Super Bowl. Next up, we have one of the more boring games in week 1. We're going to have the Raiders at the Chargers. I think I'm going to lean the Raiders. I think they're a slightly better team. But again, I mean, these teams are just not going to be fun to watch this season. Obviously, with the Chargers receiving core, and then the Raiders, just their overall team. I mean, the running backs aren't good. Devontae Adams is fun, but your starting quarterback is Gardner Minshew. So, how far is that going to go? I'm going to go the Raiders, though. I'm going to say they win this game 20-13. Low scoring, or not that low, but low scoring game. Yeah, I don't know how good this offense is going to be for the Chargers. They have a coach coming in who is very run heavy. Their running backs this year are not great. They have a solid offensive line. They're going to continue to build off of that, obviously, with the new addition of Joe Alt. But I still trust this Raiders team just a little bit more, especially for week 1 against the Chargers. Next up, we're going to have Caleb Williams Bears hosting the Tennessee Titans. This should be a fun game, I think. I don't know if it's going to be my game of the week because it'll probably go to the Ravens and the Chiefs, but I think this could end up being a higher scoring game. I'm gonna have the Bears winning this one, similar to the Chiefs Ravens score, but this is gonna be my first team that scores 30. No, the Bengals had that. I don't know if the Bears are gonna come off that strong. I mean, they do have a rookie quarterback. I'm gonna say 27 to the Titans 21. I think this should be a really good game. I'm looking for big games from that receiving core, obviously for the Chicago Bears, and Caleb Williams to start off strong. Next game we have is going to be the Steelers and the Falcons. I think this should be a lower scoring game, but because the Falcons are at home, I'm gonna lean them. I'm gonna say I'm gonna say 20 to the Steelers. I think we'll just get them at 13. Or I already have 20-13 score, so I probably should change that a little bit. Maybe 24 to 13. Um, gonna go even lower. It's going to be the Falcons over the Steelers, 17 to 13. Should be a pretty boring game. The Steelers have a good defense. The Falcons, with the addition of Justin Simmons, have a great secondary. But yeah, it's gonna be probably a boring game. I know we're excited for Kirk Cousins to go to Atlanta with his new receiving weapons with Kyle Pitts and Darnell Mooney's now there. Obviously Drake London, but I don't know if the offense is going to click right away. So for right now, they win, but it's in a lower scoring fashion. Next up, we have a game where I don't think it'll be a lower scoring fashion. We have the Bills and the Cardinals. Right away, the Cardinals defense, it is not amazing. I mean, their offense isn't amazing either, but they're going to be excited this year with a new addition of Marvin Harrison Jr. The Bills lost a lot on offense, obviously with um, wide receiver Stephon Diggs. They also lost Gabe Davis, but we expect guys to step up this season like Khalil Shakir and Curtis Samuel. I think for this game, we're going to see a big Josh Allen game. I'm going to go Bills over the Cardinals. I'm going to say 32 to the Cardinals. I'm going to say 32 to 20, maybe. Maybe the Cardinals have a little bit more points than expected, but 32-20. I don't think the Cardinals are going to be that bad this season. I'm going to say it right now. I don't think they'll be that bad. They are in a tougher division, so their record might be worse than what it actually shows. Next up, we have Broncos and Seahawks. If I'm being honest, I could very well much see the Broncos take this game, but I'm going to go Seahawks. Rookie quarterback, week one. It's definitely going to be hard to trust. But, we'll go Seahawks over Broncos. We'll say by a score of 23 to 16. Next up, we have Cowboys and we have the Browns. I'm going to go Cowboys in this one. Yes, obviously getting CeeDee Lamb back on that contract is big. They still got to figure out what they're doing with Dak Prescott. I assume they're going to pay him. Obviously, Michael Parsons later down the line as well. Big season here for the Cowboys. And I have to wonder if they get another disappointing end to their season. Is that going to be the end of Dak Prescott? Who knows? But I'm going to go Cowboys in this one. 27 from the Cowboys, and then I think I'll go 16 from the Browns. Said it in an earlier NFL prediction video that I don't believe the Browns are going to have the best season. Deshaun Watson has not looked good, like basically at all, since he came to the Cleveland Browns. Does that change this year? I just have to predict no. I mean, it's not likely. So Cowboys start off a disappointing season for the Browns by beating them 27 to 16. Next up, we're going to have the Jets and the 49ers. This is going to be the Monday Night Football game, by the way. We're going to go 49ers here to spoil Aaron Rodgers' debut. I know he had one last year, but really, that was not a debut. So we're going to go 49ers in this one. 27 to 23, maybe 24. I'm going to say 27 to 23. Brandon Ayuk, has he practiced with this team yet? I know he has a week until their first game, but he's been holding out for a little bit. Obviously, he has that new contract now, so he'll play. But yeah, I'm gonna go Niners 27 to 23. I think the Jets will have a playoff season though. Next up, a Friday game. This should be an exciting one. We're gonna have the Green Bay Packers and the Eagles. The Packers are not going to be at the Eagles. Obviously, this game is going on in Brazil. So if I had to pick who will come out with a better week one, I think I'm going to lean the Eagles. I know the Eagles had a very, very, very disappointing end to last season. I mean, just looking at their schedule, Eagles 2023 schedule, or I guess results, they ended last season bad, and they went into the playoffs bad as well. Um, Let's see if we can get that's preseason. Or I guess this is going to be for 2024. So let me find 2023. After their overtime win against the Bills on November 26th. They lost to the Niners, lost to the Cowboys, lost to the Seahawks. They did beat the Giants, but then lost two straight to the Cardinals and then the Giants again. And then when it came to the playoffs, they were not much better at all. They got beat pretty soundly by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. So will they bounce back going into next year? Maybe, maybe not. But some say they do get the win over this hungry Packers team, which I think they could be definitely some underdog Super Bowl contenders. I'm gonna go the Eagles in this one. I'm gonna say they win it 20. I'm gonna go 25, a little bit more of an odd score. I'm gonna say to the Packers 21. Yeah, this should be a fun game. Definitely a fun game to watch. But I think at the end of the day, the rushing from the Eagles, obviously you have weapons from Saquon Barkley now, which is huge, and obviously Jalen Hurts as well. I think they're going to overwhelm that Packers defense just a bit. So give me the Eagles in this one. Next up, you have the Saints and the Panthers in a game where I think could very easily be the most lowest scoring game in week one. Um, see what we have so far. So far, I think it's going to be Raiders versus the Chargers. But this is definitely going to trump it. I'm going to go Saints in this one, 16 to the Panthers 9. I'm a Saints fan. I can acknowledge that our offense is terrible, but I can also acknowledge that we are not worse than the Panthers. So let's go win week one. I'm going to go Saints 16, Panthers 9. Next up, we're going to have the Vikings at the Giants. Giants quarterback is still Daniel Jones. That's really all I need to know. Give me the Vikings in this one. A wild card rematch from 2 seasons ago where the Giants ended up beating the Vikings. I'm gonna say the Vikings get their revenge though. Give me the Vikings in this one. I'm gonna say 20. I'm gonna go 23. Actually, I'm gonna go 17. I think this could also be a low scoring game. 17 to 7. Do I think that low of them? I'm gonna go 17 to 10. Yeah, as long as you have Daniel Jones, you do not have a good chance to win. Next up, though, we're going to have the Commanders and the Buccaneers. I'm so excited to watch Jaden Daniels week one, but I think the Buccaneers will spoil that just a little bit. Give me the Buccaneers in this one. I'm going to go 23 to the Commanders 13. In the final game of the season, we're going to have the Rams and the Lions. Obviously, this is also a rematch from a wild card game, but this one just from last year. Rams, Lions, playoffs. The Lions obviously won this game 24 to 23. I think we could see a similar close game. I'm going to go Lions scoring a bit more points. I'm going to go Lions getting 31. I really love this team's offense. And I'm going to say the Rams end up with 24. 31-24, Lions over the Rams. So that's going to be it for my week one predictions. We can go ahead and look at the overall conference standings. It's one weekend, so it's not going to be a big deal. But in the AFC, some notable teams that are in and out. The Raiders are leading in the AFC West. That's pretty surprising. Other than that, the Chargers are somehow in the playoffs at 0-1. I don't really know how that works out. And then some teams that are out that will most likely be in by the end of the season. You have the Chiefs; they'll make the playoffs. The Colts could end up making a push. So same thing with the Jaguars, the Jets as well, the Steelers maybe even the Titans, maybe the Browns. And then the NFC side of things, the Vikings and the Saints being 1 and 2 just doesn't seem right. That will not end up being the same by the end of the season. The Seahawks, I'm not sure if they make the playoffs. I doubt it. Yeah, definitely a couple of interesting teams in week one for this playoff standings. The NFC definitely won more games. You have teams like the 1-0 Falcons, the 1-0 Bears, the 1-0 49ers who are out of the playoffs. But overall, it's 1 week, doesn't mean a big thing. So we're going to look at this in a week later, see how we did, and then predict our next set of games. Thanks for watching this video. See you guys next time, and peace.